So Marius, our viewers are often complaining to us about how expensive cars are in South Africa and how we pay so much compared to what people around the world pay for their cars.
But I think if you look around, you'll notice that there actually are quite a few really well-priced cars out in the market for consumers to enjoy as their everyday commute. I think we found one of them.
We did, but you see the problem is that the people complain about the price of cars would never see themselves caught dead in a car like a GWM.
So shall we see if the rands make sense with the H5?
At 4.7 meters long and with a list price of just under 210,000 Rand, the H5 is literally a lot of car for the money. Apart from the handsome new face, its hover ancestry is clearly evident, but the changes are more than skin deep.
So from a looks point of view, what's happened on the outside kind of comes through to the interior as well, because it's also very nicely styled inside. Simple, but nice.
Yeah, I think we haven't given enough attention to the outside styling because it is super hard. Bit of Mazda CX-7 on the front.
A little bit.
But it really is a head turner, I think, in terms of the SUV market. People are going to notice this.
Yeah, and look, it doesn't look like a carbon copy, which they often do, so that's quite nice.
Interior, I'm glad you brought up, you're saying that at least they have followed it through because it's simple, it's well laid out, everything is where it should be. But I mean, of course, you do notice the quality of the materials, but I just keep saying to myself, 200,000, 200,000, 200,000, because you've got to bear that in mind.
Yeah, look, for 200,000, it's really not a bad interior at all. There's lots of different buttons and things, but it's not fussy.
I suppose a lot of people are going to love the fact there's this whole infotainment center they've got on, even got reverse camera on it, so they've gone and thrown in a lot of this technology, I suppose, to spec levels up even more.
It's extremely well spec'd.
It is, but before we even get to that, I mean, I think we've got to consider space, because people are buying SUVs. It's going to be like a mom's taxi running around town.
They're very much highlighting that in the press release about how it's aimed, you know, women are going for the SUVs because of the ride height, because of the perceived safety. You know, there's plenty of space for the pram, so they clearly are looking at a female market.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the legroom in the rear, and boot space is actually really is flipping good.
It's good, yeah.
What about the actual drive though, Lindsay? Because I mean, I've got my reservations, and I think you have too.
Look, you've driven it more than I have, so you have a better idea. I think it's rough and ready in terms of a drive, and I think it feels like a Chinese car in that it's loose. Everything's loose.
I find that, you know, you want to diss them, but I haven't found any rattles or noises per se in terms of doors closing and build quality. But what you are getting is a lot of noise that comes through from the transmission and from the engine.
Yeah.
That might be a purely lack of sound dampening that they haven't obviously spec'd it out to that level. So it is going to get quite irritating driving it, whether you're on the highway or just cruising around in town. It's noisy.
Yeah, I mean, for 200,000 Rand, you shouldn't expect too much. I mean, it is still essentially a bakkie, and it's got a very big bakkie kind of feel about it. You know, the suspension is bakkie-ish.
Yeah.
The whole feel of the drive is kind of bakkie-ish. It's not, they might say it's an SUV, but it doesn't have the luxury of an SUV. But at 200,000 Rand, you wouldn't.
You go on and on about the bakkies. I mean, sure, they've got their new 2-litre diesel engine they've developed themselves, but we in the 2.4 petrol, which comes from the old Colt bakkie. So I think that is what you feel when you drive. You feel the old spec, the old feel of the transmission. So it is, like you said, rough and ready, but that doesn't make it necessarily bad, I suppose.
No, it just makes it cheaper.
It certainly does. Should we go through a checklist? Because I think this is quite important, because we're talking about the specs, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Power steering?
Check.
ABS with EBD?
Check.
Air conditioning with pollen filter?
Check.
Child seat with ISOFIX fixtures?
That's a nice one. Check.
Oh, thank you. Electric windows and side mirrors?
Check.
Remote central locking?
Yep.
Although it doesn't really work. It kind of works and then it doesn't with me, but anyway, that's a mystery. Radio, CD, MP3, DVD player?
How about grating noise on the accelerator? Check.
I didn't see that on that list.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
That's very annoying.
Reverse park assist with camera?
Yeah, that's
very,
cool.
very nice.
And nice to have on an SUV.
300,000 kilometer warranty?
Yeah, good backup on a brand that maybe some people are a little bit scared of getting into.
2-year 24-hour roadside assistance?
Yep.
Well done. So we've been in town, we've been on the highway, we've been on gravel roads, tar roads. I think we're in a good position to summarize the H5.
Absolutely. Pros for me: looks. I think it looks great, and practicality. Good space for the price. Cons: quality. Just everything just doesn't feel together, and brand. Still getting there. Still building it.
Yeah, tough one, eh? Yeah, my pro is definitely the looks. I mean, you see this, it really stands out on the road. I think the space is really good inside as well. I didn't think the finish was actually too bad, even though you realize that it's cheaper materials. I thought it wasn't bad for considering the price.
Yeah.
Negativity, it'd be great if they put a lot more soundproofing and dampening into it, because you literally do hear everything and anything, and there's a lot of engine noise that does come through as well. Yeah.
So we're agreeing, really.
We always agree, Lindsay.
So going back to the price, do the rands make sense?
The rands make a lot of sense if that is your purchasing decision. If you're wanting to be in an SUV, which a lot of people in SA want to be in,
At a good price, with good spec.
you can't fault it.
But if it's quality you're looking for,
It makes sense to spend more rands.
good one.